Hi, good afternoon. Welcome back to Maths by Gary Maths Tutorials. Today we're taking a look at trigonometry and we're looking at triangles and we're wanting to find the side, so the length of the side and the size of the angle of the triangles. So it's a right angle triangle. Now the first thing we do is we'll label the right angle triangle. So if you just focus here to this triangle, what we've done is we've drawn out a right angle triangle. Now the reason we know it's a right angle triangle is because across here, that symbol here denotes a right angle, so it's a 90-degree angle. So we have to label this triangle. So across from the right angle, we call it HYP, hype, which is short for hypotenuse, the hypotenuse of the triangle. Next, we have the given angle here. Now across from the given angle, it's called OPP, which is the opposite. So we have two sides, the hypotenuse, the opposite. So the remaining side, or the side adjacent to the given angle, is called ADJ, or the adjacent. So the longest side of the triangle is a hypotenuse. The side opposite that given angle is OPP. And the last side, or adjacent to the given angle, is the adjacent. Now there's various different formulas that can be done with a right angle triangle. The one I'm going to show you today is something called SOH CAH TOA. So SOH CAH TOA TOA. So SOH CAH TOA, and I've written it out in triangular form because it's easier to explain what's actually happening. So first of all, we'll look at the first one. So the first one here, we have SOH. What does that mean? So S is for sine, so sine angle, so sine theta equals side op over side hype, so side opposite over side hypotenuse. So we can find sides of this triangle using these formulas, and we can also find angles. So I'll just explain the other two. C is for cos, so cos theta equals side adjacent over side hypotenuse, and lastly T for tan, tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. So that's the three formulas that can be used to find the sides and angles of triangles. Now it will make more sense when I show you in a worked example what we're actually doing, but that is the basics. What you want to remember is SOH CAH TOA, SOH CAH TOA, and that's just simply pronounced how it looks, SOH CAH TOA. And a way to remember it is just using these triangles for the three formulas SOH CAH TOA. So I'm going to move on to an example, and what we want to do in this example is we want to find x. So x is an angle and we want to find the size of angle x. So straight away we know that we have a right angle here. So what we do first of all is label the triangle. So across from the right angle we have hype, so that's our hypotenuse. Across from the given angle here, if you remember, is op, it's opposite, and we're left with adjacent ADJ. So this is just short, hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent. Now the next thing we want to do is decide which of the formulas we're going to use, the SOH CAH TOA, in order to find the angle x. So sine theta equals op over hype, cos theta equals adjacent over hype, tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. So we have op and we have adjacent and we have hype. But the information that we are given is we have hype and we have op, because we know hype is 25 centimetres, we know the op is 12 centimetres. So we have the length of two sides. So because we have the length of two sides, we are then able to find the angle x. So we can solve it. So what we do is we decide which one we're going to use, op and hype. So we use sine. So sine theta equals op over hype. So what we can then do is plug in what we know. So we have sine theta equals 12 divided by 25. Now this is when you have to use your graphics calculator, because to get the angle theta, we have to, on our calculators, we have to use sine to the -1, or if you're using a graphic or scientific calculator, you may have to type shift sine. So sine to the -1 and 12 divided by 25. So sine to the -1 theta, we want to find theta, so that's simply 12 divided by 25 and then multiplied by sine to the -1. So 12 divided by 25, if we use our calculators, 0.48. So we are shift sine 0.48, and that gives us x equals 28.7 degrees. Okay, so find x. So x is 28.7 degrees. Now we weren't actually asked to give it to a decimal place, but what we'll do is to 1 decimal place, because a lot of the times you'll be asked to give it to either 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places. So if you're asked, just do as required. So 28.7. So that's us found. 28.7 is x. Now moving on to another example. So this time, we, first of all, as before, we label the triangle. So across from the right angle, we call it height. Across from the given angle is op. And lastly, adjacent to the right angle, or the last side, adjacent. Height, op, adjacent, and we want to find x. So this time, we have to decide what we're going to use. So we're going to use CAH, C-A-H, because we want to find adjacent, and we have height, and we have cos angle. So cos 38, because that's the angle here, will equal x divided by, so A, so that's x, and height, which is 18. So cos 38 equals x divided by 18, and we want x to 1 decimal place. So to find x, we would simply do cos 38 on our calculators, multiply by 18, and to 1 decimal place that will come out as 14.2 centimetres. So there, that's how we find the side of this particular triangle. So moving on, we have one more example, and this time we want to find x. So we do exact same as before, we'll label the triangle. So across from the right angled triangle, the right angle side is height. Across from the given angle is opposite, so OPP, and the side we're left with is adjacent. So again, we have to decide what we're going to do in terms of which formula we're going to use. Is it going to be SOH? Will it be CAH? Or will it be TOA? SOH CAH TOA. So in this instance, we're going to use TOA. We're going to use tan, because tan theta equals op over adjacent. We have the op, which is 7.5, divided by adjacent, which we don't have, and it will be tan 50. So tan 50 equals 7.5 divided by x. Here's the 50 degrees here. So to find out x, simply rearrange it. So that's why before I did the triangle, because TOA, basically if you want to find t, to find tan, if you put your finger there, it's op divided by adjacent. If you want to find the adjacent, it's op divided by the tan. And if you want to find op, it's tan multiplied by adjacent. So it's just a wee easy way to remember how to use the formula. So we want to find the adjacent, so we want this, so it's op divided by tan. So 7.5 divided by tan 50, and that'll get us x, and that'll work out. So x to 1 decimal place, which gives us, that will be 6.3 centimetres. So that's a few worked examples. So that's some of the formulas that can be used with a right angled triangle, and we'll be having a look at other formulas, other similar formulas, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you.